Hello, welcome back. I think we're on part 3 now. So now I have transitioned to another gym. The next gym on the list was East York Gymnastics Club. And this new gym, we're not playing games anymore. I mean, like Markham was that start, getting things in order. I started competing, but all invitational competitions. So this means, just competing for fun, testing out that skill, testing out your talent. Beautiful, but East York, that was like, this is serious business. This was serious business. All the girls at East York had like 8 packs, the perfect bodies, the perfect technique. East York, especially at this time, was phenomenal with technique, positioning. Provincial level gymnastics, they would win everything. So, we definitely had to try out for this gym, my sister and I, and we tried out. I made it into the highest group, so this was really exciting. And yeah, just a different experience that I was about to get into here. After maybe my 3rd day there, the head coach comes up to me and says, today we're going to try you in this group here, which is a lower level down. We're just going to try you out in this group. It's probably going to be a little bit more fun, less pressure, not so much XYZ. And I was a little bit confused because I was like, I don't feel pressured. I feel like I'm having fun. What's happening here? So there wasn't even a conversation. There was nothing. It was just, hey, Brittany, we're going to put you in this lower level group. And obviously I'm confused, and Brittany not having a voice and not having confidence, I started to question myself, like, wow, like if I tried out and I made it into the higher group, why after 2-3 practices are they going to just put me down into the lower level group? Like, what did I do wrong? Like, what's happening here? What they didn't realize was my mom was one of those gym moms, okay? My mom would sit there. If we're at the practice for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, she's sitting there watching. Like you can't put one over her. So respectfully, the head coach went up to my mother and said, hey, this is the situation. We're going to just try her out in this lower level group. Before they could finish that sentence, my mom, no, absolutely not. XYZ, she has this skill, she has that skill. I don't know why you haven't even asked her to show you this skill. You don't know why you haven't asked her to show you that skill. Absolutely not. Go in there and tell her to show you those skills. Head coach comes back, and then she puts it on me. And that's something else that is a very big part of this story. She comes in and she puts it on me as if it was my fault that she didn't ask for me to show those skills. She comes back in, Brittany, why didn't you tell me you could do all these skills? Come on, get over here. So she pulls me out of the lower level group and brings me into this group, and is like, almost like, let's go. Like, let's see them. I didn't know you could do all this stuff. Come on, let's show it. And then I'm obviously able to show those things, but it wasn't like she ever asked me or said, hey, let's go through these skills. It was nothing like that. It was just, I tried out, I made it. Without any question, put her down to the lower level group. If my mother wasn't there, I would have been in that group and I would have stayed in that group, because there wasn't even this attempt to keep me in this group where I was good enough to be. So that's number 1. That's my opening story to East York Gymnastics Club. Now, like I said, in the past, I had competed, but I just competed for fun, doing some really great big skills, but nothing on an extreme serious level. Back in the day, gymnastics levels were level 1, level 2, and level 3. So essentially, your level 1 is like back walkover on the floor, round of back handsprings. Level 2, you've got like back tucks, back layout halves, maybe even a full twist-ish on floor. Level 3, it was a little bit more equivalent to our now level 10. So, full and a half twist on floor, front handspring, front layout, gorgeous position. Some people are flipping on vault. Others are just doing like handspring full. Bars, shoot overs, straddle backs, connections on beam, back handspring layouts on beam. It was like serious stuff. This was level 3 was like the level 10, because after level 3, you'd go to nationals if that was the route you were going. It was a big jump for me. I'm serious when I said serious gymnastics really got started. So obviously, we went into level 3. My teammates were very talented. I mean, you just look at them and they were the ones that were supposed to be winning, like technique, body, skill, presentation, each York they can produce. Like, and they brought in choreographers to come choreographer like it was like top notch, top level. So, the first few competitions, just like, I'm doing my thing. And then I think you need like 3 competitions to qualify to even make it to provincials. Brittany Habib qualified. And I'm sure a lot of people didn't expect this, but like, I was talented. And if you gave me the proper coaching, I was able to get it. I was picking up skills. I was learning new skills. My technique was becoming so much better. My form, everything. I was becoming an East York gymnast, and that's a good thing. That was a beautiful thing. So I get to provincials, and I'm just having a rock solid day. I remember, I had this white leotard, and I stood out. It was gorgeous. Photographers were on me like every rotation, and I didn't know why. I was just in Brittany's world. I wasn't looking around because I already know everyone else is better than me, because that's how I felt in the gym. I was always, my other teammates, Danielle, Haley, they were always the better ones, so I always just stayed in my place. But I remember coming off of events, and then the photographers would come and snap pictures of me, and I would be on an event and I see the camera crews like taking pictures, and I'm like, what's going on here? Absolutely confused, not knowing that like I'm doing really well in this competition. Like, it was a really great surprise. So at the end, it's time to get the awards, and I'm getting named, I'm getting called, I'm getting medals, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. So we ready for the provincial champion. This is like the biggest thing, like to get into gymnastics. And again, let me repeat, like being a level 3 provincial level champion, that's a name, like that's huge. But of course, I know in my head and the way that the gym had made me feel, there was no way I was in the running for that. In fact, there was this athlete, Catherine Fairhurst from Gemini. Gemini is like one of the top gyms, especially at this time. Like they were the reigning champions all the time. So like East York, Gemini, like those were amazing athletes. They said, in first place, in first overall, and I saw Catherine Fairhurst stand up, pop her collar, get herself ready, fix whatever she needs, and she started walking towards the podium. This Catherine Fairhurst, because she knew she was the winner. And that's when you have a good coach. Mentality is everything. Without even realizing it, you're already a winner. This is how important this is. So Catherine Fairhurst pops her collar. She's walking towards, everyone's so proud. And they say, first place from Ontario, Brittany Habib. Catherine doesn't even realize this, because this is me watching her going up to the podium, because she's supposed to be winning. And then they said it again. They said, Brittany Habib. Catherine stops. I'm like, wait a minute. That's my name. What? I get up slowly. Catherine's like, what? Every faces are like this, like, what's going on? And then obviously, I guess my parents knew, so you see them like, because they knew, they just didn't want to tell me. And I guess that's why the photographers were like snapping pictures of me, because I was like that. I was that next up and coming, So I walk up to the podium, and this was a huge thing, like provincial champions, like used to get this huge freaking big trophy. Like it was bigger than the size of a child. And there was like engraved every year who was like that reigning champion, and then Brittany got her. It was like ridiculous. I'm holding this big old trophy, and like, and I just couldn't believe this. It was so exciting. I had a pretty solid, I earned it. It was, it was meant there for me. So we go back to the gym, because obviously a reigning champion like this, the next step is nationals. And all of my teammates, you know, Danielle, Hale, all of them, they're the ones that were expected to be those top, and they weren't. You know, I think maybe someone fell, someone didn't play, so they didn't place where they were expected to place. So we get back to the gym, and obviously the next phase is, you know, we keep going up that ladder. We get ready for nationals. At this age, I could probably be national novice. Because there's pre-national novice. I'm too old for that. There's national novice, there's junior national, there's senior national, and then there's categories within that. There's also open national. So we're hoping for national novice. I get to the gym, and now there's a new coach that's in. Dave left for whatever reasons, and then they brought in Rod, a coach that loves to have fun, and that was very different at East York. I mean, we'd be on the equipment and he'd be busting jokes. He would throw balls at people while you were training and just laughing and making jokes and everything like this. And he liked me, but he had an idea of where I should be. So we get to the gym, you know, after the competition, we start working again, and he pretty much says to me, you're not national material. You're not good enough to be national. So he starts taking Danielle, which was my teammate and my really good friend at the time, and starts teaching her like Yurchenko's, you know, different flipping stuff, and just teaching her national level skills, and said, Brittany, like, you're not national level material. We're not going to be teaching you these things. So I'm like sitting here like, well, that doesn't make sense. Like, didn't I just win like one of the biggest titles in all of Ontario right now? Like, it's not making sense to me. Like, why does she get to work on those skills, but like I'm not allowed to? And what am I supposed to be doing? It like what? I'm confused here. And my mom being one of those gym moms, and she really lived through me, and I don't even know. Like, she just had so much passion in her, which she expressed the wrong way a lot of the times, and it's the truth. Parents, if you're living through your children, please, like, watch your actions, please. So my mom saw Danielle getting to work on these big level skills, and saw that I wasn't. So she brought, you know, driving me home in the car and getting frustrated. Brittany! And she's so angry. She hit my head. What are you letting them do that for? And she's angry. She's frustrated. And I understand her frustration. Like, what the freak? Like, you are a reigning champion, and that's her frustration. But she should have took it out on the coaches and them instead of taking it out on me, because who am I to be like, obviously I want to work on those skills. Rod told me I'm not allowed. Rod told me I have bad technique. Rod told me I'm not national level material. Rod told me that we're taking Danielle and we're not going to take you. Take it or leave it. That was all there was. There was nothing else to the conversation. So now I'm in a situation where mom is like extremely frustrated at me. She doesn't know how to control her anger. She's hurt. She's embarrassed. This is what I'm thinking, you know. How dare, you know, Danielle gets to work in it and you're not, and she's just going crazy. And then now every drive home in the car just became this worse and worse and worse. And now gymnastics is really starting to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, because I just didn't have a voice. I just didn't have a say. And I tried to ask Rod if I can work on it, but there was absolutely no way that I was capable and that I was allowed to even try to go into the national division. I was only good enough to be level 3. I had hit my plateau and I couldn't go absolutely anywhere further. This story has a lot more details, and I'm going to share that in the next story because I'm already over time. But interesting, the journey of my gymnastics. There was a love there, and I want to make that clear. There was a love there because I had this talent, because I had this extra oomph, and when I put my hard work to it, I was showing results, but was brought down. Every club that I went to, it did something amazing for me, but it also did something awful for me too. It showed me the reality of no matter how good I could be, there was always coaches there that found a way to make me a lot lower and push me down and really, really test my self-confidence and my mind and my body and my soul. So that's my next story, and we'll catch you again for the remaining.